Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is April 9th. It is Friday. Yes, it's Friday. That was like a question mark, but no, it is Friday. 2021. Alright. Whew. That was fun. Alright, so as you can see, we got an overcast day today. We've had some fantastic weather recently. It's still in the 60s today, so it's absolutely still nice. But we've had some rain today. You can't tell now because it's all dried out, but we did have rain earlier. Before we get into the topic of this video, I would like to remind everybody I will be live streaming tonight at 8 p.m. So I would ask you all to join me then, and we'll have a good discussion, and we will go from there. Ay, ay, ay. Sometimes the brain doesn't want to work properly. It was like, wait a minute, what's today? But yeah, so anyway, all right, let's get into this. How to be a rich individual in a post-event. Now, that's kind of like an oxymoron, right? How are you a rich individual if the world has collapsed as we know it and money has no value anymore? How are you going to be a rich individual? Okay, so I'm going to give you a list of 12 things that are going to put you on a path to be a very wealthy individual, highly in demand, and it's going to make you very, very popular in a post-event. Okay, so number one, gold and silver. Now you guys know how I feel about gold. I don't recommend anybody invest in gold, but I definitely highly recommend investing in silver, especially junk silver. You can get gold ounces as well if you wish to do that. But junk silver is the way to go. It's going to be very tradable. Silver and gold are obviously going to retain their value in a post-event, but we have to remember we cannot eat silver or gold. That's what I want you to remember. So investing in it is a good thing, but you know, having take these off. Having a decent amount on hand is also a good thing. Hold on, I'm going to try to clean this lens. It looked a little dusty. There we go. Okay, so gold and silver would be number one. Number two would be land. Okay, so what do I mean by land? If there is an economic collapse in this country, you are going to have a lot of these banks are going to go around and they are going to scoop up the different land, especially if people still have a balance on that land or if you have a mortgage and stuff like that. So what I mean is, if you can financially do it and pay down your payments and stuff like that, what I want you to think about is this, okay, and this is actually kind of important. If you have your mortgage payment and you have a 30-year mortgage, which most people have a 30-year mortgage, if you pay even an extra $100 a month, that extra $100 all goes towards principal. Most loans are front-loaded with interest. So in the first 5 years of your loan, you're basically paying very little principal. It's mostly interest that you're paying in that first 5 years. Because the reason to do that, two reasons. Number one, most people are going to move within inside of a 10-year period of time. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. So they end up, you know, not having a tremendous amount of equity, and with it front-loaded with interest, the banks are obviously making more money with doing it that way. It's a vicious cycle, it really is. But if you can pay extra every month, and let's say you pay that extra $100, you can now turn, I don't know the exact numbers of what it would be, but you can basically turn a 30-year loan into a 15-year loan. So, and of course, location of your land and stuff like that, and access to you know, different, you know, things that are going to give you life, like water and all those type of things, I think are hugely important as well. Okay. Next one is food. Making sure you have a decent supply of food on hand. Again, in a post-event, that's going to be very, very valuable. You're going to be very, very popular if you have food. People that have hoarded gold will trade that gold for a very small amount of food if they're hungry enough. So that's definitely a great thing to have on hand, be it canned goods, long-term food storage, freeze-dried foods, whatever your flavor is. Okay. The next thing is having like a cottage industry business. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you have a good example would be small engine repair. All right. You have a small engine repair business, or you make shoes. You're a cobbler on the side, or you have a sewing business or something to that effect. Wind's picking up. Those are type of businesses that are going to be very, very valuable in a post-event because you will be very, very busy. Okay, real smart thing to do. And again, trade is going to be a huge thing in a post-event. So if you have a skill that translates into that, it's going to be very, very valuable. I want you to think about how many shoemakers you guys know out there. That's just one example. So if you started doing something like that, learned how to do it, get that down, how to work with leather, you know, for making moccasins or whatever else the case may be. Another great idea. Okay, so learning how to tan hides and all that type of stuff. Get that skill down. Really, really good thing to have in a post-event. All right. Number 5 would be alcohol. Sadly, even in a post-event, you're going to still have people are going to have their vices. Okay, alcohol obviously being one of them. So if you have a decent amount of backup alcohol on hand, which I think is important to have for a lot of different reasons, you know, that's a good thing to have, and it's very, very tradable, and again, in a post-event. Or having a small still of some sort, or having the capacity to set up a still after said event, or, you know, learning those skills now. You know, to each their own. All right. Number 6 again goes along the same lines. Tobacco. All right. Stocking up on cigarettes. Cigarettes go stale. Now you can freeze them. It's going to extend the life that way, but it would be better to go with raw tobacco and store that in rolling papers. People don't think about rolling papers, but you know, that would be something that and they have the cigarette machines that you can do that are, you know, hand operated. Those would be something that would be really, really good as well to have. Okay, so there's, you know, again, vices are not going to go away. The next one, of course, is another vice, and that's going to be coffee. All right. So if you're going to store coffee, hello, Mr. Man. If you're going to store coffee, then whole beans. Yes, I see you. Whole beans are definitely going to be better than ground coffee. So you're going to want to have a grinder, obviously. You know, the whole beans are going to last a lot longer. As far I know, Max, I know you're a good boy. But I think you still should have some coffee, and again, you can freeze that as well, depending on what kind of, you know, if you got a decent sized freezer, you know, that'll store pretty decently for a long term. Okay. Number 8 would be ammo. Now I know a lot of people said, no way am I trading ammo. Ammo is already in short supply. Think about how it is now and the price of ammo right now. Okay. 22 long rifle would be a really, really good one to stock up on because it's going to be a very popular ammo. It's still relatively cheap, per se, and in a post-event, like I said, stockpiling as much ammo as you can now is a very, very smart thing. So, but again, it is a barterable item if you trust the people you're bartering with. So, you know, that's going to have to be at your discretion. All right. Next would be gas. Now, unfortunately, gas has a very limited shelf life. If you are storing gas in a metal container as opposed to plastic, it can last for a year untreated. All right. You can extend that out another year or 2 years with adding a stabilizer to it. After that, forget about it. Okay. So gas is a short-term thing. But people are going to be looking for it, they're going to want it, and they're going to be willing to trade for it. Okay, so that's definitely something that you need to think about. Okay. The next one, and I'm going to lump this into one category, and I'm going to go with paper products. All right. Toilet paper, Kleenex, paper towels. Now, paper towels, probably not so much. Max, will you relax? Go. Yes, I see you. I love you. You're a good boy. Now, just give me a couple more minutes. Paper towels, you know, you could use cloths or whatever like that. So that paper towels probably not so much. More toilet paper than anything else. People like their creature comforts. So along with that, I would also add feminine hygiene products. Okay, for women, tampons and those type of things. And also, I would say like razors. If you can like stock up on fairly cheap razors, it's really another good thing to have, a good resource. Okay, and so I would definitely think that those are things that are going to be, you know, really things that people want. Again, along with that, we could throw in shampoo, you know, toothpaste, toothbrushes, all those type of things. So that whole category, could be a whole lot of things. But those are going to be things that are going to be sought after as well, because people don't stock up on them. All right. The next one is going to be seeds. Now, seeds are going to be probably more valuable than anything else, would be my opinion, because it's going to give you that opportunity to be able to grow your own food. Okay, so seeds are going to be really important. So the more seeds that you have, the better off you're going to be. Max, I'm almost done. Go. Almost done. Trust me. All right, so that would be a great one to have in a post-event as well. And the last one is going to be tools. And I'm not talking about these cheap, flimsy tools that we have of today. I'm talking old school tools that were built well, built to last. Those are going to be in super high demand, because these crappy tools that a lot of people get today are not going to last long, especially being used a lot more. Their shelf life is going to be very, very limited. Okay, so go to garage sales, estate sales, and stuff like that. If you can get and find old style tools, definitely get as much as you possibly can. I do that all the time myself. I think it's a great thing to have on hand. Hand saws, you know, hand drills, you know, any kind of shovels, picks, axes, you know, stuff for gardening, hose, and all those type of things. Really good things to have. So anyway, so that is my list. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to think of, have to say about that. Again, tools could be something that people will trade, something very, very valuable that you may need, that you may not have thought about. You know, so having extra of things is going to be really, really good. Remember the old Navy SEAL saying, guys, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So if you can stack things, stack them high, get many of them, it puts you in a much better position in a post-event. You can be a very rich person in a post-event if you have the right supplies on hand to be able to barter and trade with. Okay, so anyway, I am going to jump off of here for now. I will see you all this evening at 8 p.m. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be yet. I got a couple ideas, but we'll get there when we get there. Remember, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. We are one race called the human race, and we really need to get on board with that and stop letting ourselves be manipulated by race, religion, and politics. You know, and realize that in a post-event, your politics really aren't going to matter, your religion's not going to really matter, and what color you are is not going to make any difference. If you are a human being that can help another human being survive, that's going to be a good thing. All right. Secondly, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important we tell the people that we love every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that will stop you from reaching those goals is you. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right? I will talk to you all later. I hope everybody has a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now. Max, where'd you go, Max?